Hey there, my minions. Stone Dog barking at you again. And this is Dog of the Dead. And the thing was, I'm in just a bit going to be at Lone Fir Cemetery here in Portland, Oregon. But I wanted to have a libation first. And so I went to the nearest tavern, pub, or whatever you want to call it, that happened to be the Bare Bones. And here we are. And this is a really kind of a neat place. Look, you got there, and there. Look at this. My kind of place here. Along with a coffin for me to lay in. And it's dang near Christmas time. So we'll look at a couple of the things. Hey, as soon as you walk in here, there's like everything is a dead guy. Everything is skeletonized. What a great theme. I couldn't have thought it better myself. Right? And a perfect opening for today's Dog of the Dead, right? Just had to look at this place. It's awesome. Like bare bones for us all, right? Good guy there. Good guy there. Pretty neat, eh? So anyway, hey, it looks like we've got Christopher Walken back here. So he's Mr. Creepy himself. And anyway, I just had to show you that, my minions, before I started the tour of the real cemetery. So I'm gonna finish my libation here at the Bare Bones before I get back into my coffin and take you to the cemetery, right? Just out there. Okay, my minions. Now we get to the Bare Bones of Dog of the Dead today, which is Lone Fir Cemetery, Oregon Historical Cemetery, established 1855, my minions. It's a while ago, and this is one of the premier pioneer cemeteries right down here in downtown Portland, Oregon, because it was where most of anybody that was of any stature or what have you was buried that maybe didn't have a whole lot of money, because there's a spot over on the Willamette just out of Selwood called Wilhelm Memorial. It's a mortuary, crematorium, and things like that. And that's where anybody that had any money at the time was buried or started to. Well, they're still being used, like in this place. But that's a whole different episode of Dog of the Dead in itself, that I will go there because that place is only open to the public one day a year, and that's on Memorial Day. But that's coming up. So anyway, but we're going to take this right here, Lone Fir Cemetery. Has been one of my favorite cemeteries in the Portland, Oregon area for as long as I can remember. And it's supposedly one of the most haunted, too, if you believe that kind of stuff. And there again, I've done several broadcasts from here, just wandering around talking about it. But this is the first in my series of Dog of the Dead. And what's really weird, too, this is Dog of the Dead episode number 13 at Lone Fir Cemetery in Portland, Oregon. Well, we're going to wander around here and find the entranceway, and then we'll check this place out, shall we? And that's right after we left the Bare Bones, the tavern, just up the road, which I kind of like that place. So, here we are, my minions. Lone Fir Cemetery in Portland, Oregon. And we'll check this place out. There's a whole lot of very interesting things to look at in this cemetery. Like I said, it's extremely old, but yet still being used. It's fairly well maintained, but yet has some pretty off the wall, out of the corner stuff. And there's some pretty bizarre tombstones or remembrances, or what you would like to call them here. I don't know. Like I said, I've probably been to this cemetery more than almost any of the others I've ever been to. And this is the first of the Dog of the Dead. But this is one of the little things out here. We'll wander around a bit. I don't know. This one doesn't have a name on it, but somebody obviously put some work into putting that there to make sure it stayed there. Right here. S.G. Richardson, 1842-1914, right there. Okay, here, let's see if there's something in the front of this. There is not. And there's somebody in there, man. But here, let's keep going. This place goes on and on and on. There's one of my favorite ones over here that we'll wander to, but see, I don't want to. Here, I'm going to just jump back and forth because I don't want to use up all of my time. This one here was a family crypt of some sort. See, here were the original headstones, but then at one point, I don't know if they were added to or changed. I don't know. That one's kind of strange. Here's one that I've always really thought that was kind of sweet. Michael Anthony Christopher Parker. And he was apparently a little handicapped boy. But I love what it says. It's, thank you for touching my life and enjoying knowing that I've touched yours. Thank you for returning my smiles and laughter. So, it says a little bit more, but that one just kind of touches me. It's sweet. There's a couple more in here that are just really, really cool. Because if you can see, this place is quite large and has been used for quite a while. And supposedly, this place is haunted. So, what I've been told is you listen for children's laughter or people whispering behind your back. So I'll get into a spot out here, or several, and ask if you people can hear anything like that. Children's laughter, or anybody whispering at me. So, what do you think so far? I kind of like this place, like I said, because there's so many things here. Old, new, and in between. Evans. And then I'll turn right around here. Nelson. Okay, right? So we'll travel around. And I'm just going willy-nilly because there's really no pattern to what I'm doing, although I probably could, because there's people called the Friends of Lone Furrow Society that have Fleming right there. But anyway, they have a thing called the Tours of the Untimely Departed, because there are some of these people in here that have, I don't know, had some creepy demises, I suppose. Not saying Plimpton did, but hey, here's one I've always liked. We'll switch it over so you can see it. Okay, see that black orb up there? That one's kind of cool. It's, I do believe that one is for a, EJ and PJ Dragonhorn. They were doctors. They were, I think, acupuncturists, from what I've read. But that's kind of unique. Obviously very Asian. I like it. Then you run right over here. Johnny Kettering died July 23rd, 1890. Wow. And you get over here, Johnson. Johnson and Johnson. Hey, that's kind of strange. Hear the crow? He's talking to me. So let's just stand here and listen a bit. We'll look around. Excuse me, but I only hear the birds and the wind, the traffic. So far, I'm trying to listen, but we'll keep moving and looking. There's still lots more to look at here, my friends. Lots more. Yeah, we can wander through here for days and never see all the history and things that are interesting in here. Elsa Maria and Nina Nikolovena. Okay, see, interesting here. So many of these are so nice, you know, and it's there again, part of the reason why I do what I do is so that there's a squirrel. See the squirrel? It goes to show you. Life goes on, folks. Life goes on. See, look at this. What is this? Augusta Jacola and Joseph Jaskola. Oh, and see, and I can't even pronounce that. It's Russian or some of that nature. This is an area that seems like that. Here's some that seem pretty old. We'll read those. Lucy C., wife of W.B. Severance, died May 2nd, 1892. Wow, okay, and there's the husband. Wow, man. There's a lot of things in here. See, there was right over there is the that's the Civil War Memorial, but they tore the soldier off of it back in the riots 4 or 5 years ago, which is a shame, but you know, shit happens. Pain. All right. Okay. Oh, I see one over here we need to go look at. Over there in the trees is the Maclay tomb. See that? Let's go look at that. Okay, the Maclay family from Portland, Oregon here apparently at one point was quite the prominent family. And but over the years, anybody that remembers them or is left of the family, whoever has passed away, they're not around anymore, so this place has fell into severe neglect. At one point, you used to be able to go up inside there. See that? There was a chapel with stained glass and everything, and then you go around to the other side. See the stained glass up there? Yeah. And then you would go down to this side, and there's the tomb down in there. And if you look real carefully, you can see all the little niches in there for the remains of the Maclay family. But see, things started falling off of here, and it got to be where you could be hurt if you got too close with all that sandstone falling off. So they had to put that fence all around it. Okay, there's a very interesting tomb cover, I suppose. And but I'm gonna wind my way up this hill because there's some things I wanted to see over there. There's the Brewer family crypt, brothers from this area, which is funny because their name was Brewer, but and they started one of the first breweries around here. But it's another one that's fallen into disrepair. But that's not where we're going. I think this one right here is a lot of the Russian, Ukrainian type ones. Now, where we're going up here is one of my favorite grave markers of all time. Right up there. We'll get up there. Okay, my minions, one of the reasons I like this grave marker is, for one, is the creepy value of it. Because I'm old enough to remember a movie called Phantasm. And they had these little creepy critters that were made out of dead people that were just like that. And this one has a lot of times some of the most stuff left here. And but we'll take a real close look at it, shall we? So, like I said, here are these folks, or their mortal remains, and what's left. We'll give you their names and stuff in a little bit. And even some of the stuff that's left for them. This is another reason I like this. This is James B. Stevens, born in Virginia, November 19th, 1806, died March 22nd, 1889. And this is Elizabeth, wife of James B. Stevens, born near Flemingsburg, Kentucky, December 6, 1805, died April 26, 1887. But this is the good part. Here we lie by consent. After 57 years, 2 months, and 2 days sojourning through life, awaiting nature's immutable laws to return us back to the elements of the universe, of which we were first composed. Think about that there for a moment, my minions. That was in the 1800s. Those people really kind of had their shit together as far as I'm concerned. Right? Anyway, some pretty profound words for some people that lived quite a while ago. Well, there's a couple more we'll look at. We'll check them out. Edward Dalton from Coventry, England, died July 21st, 1852, aged 30 years. Well, here's to you, Edward Dalton. I hear that. Okay, and see, you can see spots here where it's obviously still being used, but we're about to the end of this tour of Lone Fir, except for one little bit here. If you'll notice, oh, the sun's probably in everything right now. Here, I'll flip it around. Anyway, if you'll notice, see how there's the cemetery, it goes all like that, but there's this area, and these things don't say a lot, really. But what this is back in the 1930s or so, the city annexed this portion or this portion of this cemetery for government use in some government buildings, which is fine, I suppose, because supposedly this was all the potter's field, you know, the people that were unknown or the people that died in hospitals with no family or in the insane asylums, or, you know, immigrants from mostly Asian countries or whatever. And so they were supposedly all removed and sent back to their home countries or reinterned or whatever. Well, the buildings were built, and for a long time, I remember that there was a huge building right here on this lot. Well, back in the early 90s, those buildings needed to be tore down, and they were going to build some new ones in this area. And the funny thing was, once they started digging down for foundations and stuff, they found out that hardly any of those old remains had been moved whatsoever. There were so many human remains just left here. It was an embarrassment. And so this has remained since the 90s, just an empty lot with a kind of an apology a little bit, but not much in this area. But that's just a brief explanation of what happened here. And they're supposed to be building a memorial, you know, a great big, we're sorry, right? I guess. So anyway, my minions, this has been Tone Dog with Dog of the Dead at Lone Fir Cemetery in Portland, Oregon. I hope you enjoyed this one, because it was been interesting, and I've always kind of liked it here. There's way more stories here, and I might do more later on Dog of the Dead, because I do think I'm going to come and try to spend the night here with some of my ghost detecting tools. Who knows? Anyway, I do believe I'm probably going to go back to the Bare Bones and have another libation. See you again, my minions. I love y'all. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, whatever you want to call it. Just tell the people you love them.